is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
All right, fans, welcome back to Fleet and Footy, presented by Alive Credit Union, the only show on actionsportsjacks.com featuring a little bit of Fleet, Armada, and a little bit of footy, soccer. But we've got a great episode for you guys today, because joining us in studio is a guy who knows the club inside and out. He wore the crest as a player for the men's team, and now is helping shape the future of our women's side as an assistant coach. He brings grit, leadership, a whole lot of passion, definitely some jokes. Please welcome everyone to the show, Jed Bowman. Jed, welcome to Fleet and Footy.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, mate. Really good.
Well, I know I was excited when I first saw your name pop up as an assistant coach option when Goffey was making his squad this year. Can you just first touch on that, like how you got involved in, wanting to coach specifically the women's side?
Yeah, so I know Goff, obviously through JFC. He offered to put me on a coaching course, which was my C certificate, which I was really interested in getting into. I know a couple of the coaches at the club did it as well. Off the back of the coaching course, he was really happy with my session that I put on for the kids at the end, and more or less on the spot offered me the job at Armada. It was a no-brainer for me. Obviously, had ties with the club for about my 5th year now, so it's crazy when I think about it. But it was a no-brainer for me to get back involved and take on a new challenge with the girls.
Well, finally losing you from that U23 men's team, it was a shame, but I was so excited to see your name pop up, to just have you around the Armada culture, still building that. I think you were a huge part of that in our locker room as we went through those early NPSL stages. But can you just first touch on, how you even got over here across the pond? A lot of the guys come over here for college soccer opportunity. Did you ever think that you were going to go that pro route in England?
I want to say from about 16 or 17, I knew that I wanted to try something new. The non-league route back home can be really difficult. Just not getting the opportunities that maybe you want. I knew that America would offer me so much more in terms of the overall experience. Started in New Mexico at a small school there, and then went to a junior college in Arizona, Arizona Western, which was probably, I couldn't have asked for a better start. That got interrupted by COVID. Ended up going to Flagler. Did three years at Flagler, and then first year I was there, we won the conference, and after all the festivities had died down, everyone had gone home, and I was wondering what I should do, and emailed Tommy, wanted to get involved with the men's team at Armada, and that's how it all started here. Off the back of Armada, got a job at JFC, and still here.
Well, you glossed over that trophy you won in college really quickly. Flagler College, obviously one of the more premier D2 men's and women's soccer programs within the nation. Can you touch on your time there in St. Augustine, Florida?
Yeah, shout out Flagler, by the way. Just won another conference championship.
Exactly.
So, it was a weird season because it was our COVID season. Probably had no right going all the way and winning it. I think in playoffs we weren't up ever. So won both our games on penalties. But no, it's just such a positive experience, and it's obviously brought me here. I'm doing what I'm doing now. So can't thank them enough.
Well, can you talk about some of the guys that actually continued to play with you throughout the summer that you also played with at Flagler College?
Yeah, we got Marky. Obviously, Miles is still...
Mark Birkeland for everyone. I know you throw out the nicknames.
Yeah, no. Mark Birkeland. Miles is obviously still heavily involved, captain at the moment. I
think we had Dylan Fricky up here.
Yeah, Fricky was there for a little while. I know Max Lamberts was here when... he was going through his injury. We might have had a couple more as well. Maybe, do you remember any more?
I not at the top of my head.
Kill me not at the top.
Well, here's a young-looking Jed. What would you tell that Jed Bowman, knowing what you know now?
I don't know how many things I'll do differently. I mean, look at the hair. I think the only thing I'll do differently is cut that barnet. Look at it. No, I wouldn't do too many things differently. Obviously, you know the character that I am, Lou. It's just, what you see is what you get. Really competitive, love to win, and then love to have a good time off the field. And, it was, no regrets. Definitely no regrets.
What was that pitch like from Tommy K to join the U23 men's team originally? Because obviously it wasn't hard of a sell for you to come back year after.
No, so I was late coming in. I remember missing the first game against Tallahassee. And like I say, after we won the conference at Flagler, there was a lot going on in St Augustine, put it that way. But once it had all died down, I got in contact with him, and I was probably about 2 or 3 weeks late. And I needed housing. I knew probably going in, maybe I wouldn't get game time, or was just going to be a squad player, and come in and make the first session that I had. I picked the ball up in the hour half, and he stopped the session and he asked me to ping a ball about 50 yards. And first one, I've absolutely wafted it about 10 yards on the ground. And then he's given me another chance, and I've pinged it perfect to the left winger. And I think that's done it for him. Just had good conversations with him. Obviously, Jack Burns was involved as well. And then there was a couple of other coaches that I just connected with instantly. And the rest is history.
Do you have a specific match that sticks out to you in your mind as one of your favorite all-time Armada matches you've been a part of?
From a personal so there's probably two. From a personal standpoint, it's nice having I'm a right back, don't affect the game an awful lot. There was one game where I come on towards the end. I think it was against was it Naples? I think it was Naples.
Away in Naples?
Yeah, no, it was here.
Okay.
It was here at Episcopal, and we were 2-1 down to Naples with about 5 minutes to go, and they've thrown me on. I love getting forward, love running up and down the channels.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And hey, I've done a step over, and I've crossed it into the box, best cross of my life. And Reedy's headed it in, and
man, I wish I would have had that clip ready, because I totally forgot that was you on the other end of that.
Yeah, mate. No one expected it to be me, but mate, it's funny because I said to Reed Davis in a session a few weeks prior, I said, mate, I was putting crosses in and they were hitting the side net and it was awful. And I said to Reed, one of these days I'm going to cross a ball in it, it's going to land straight on your head. And literally, God's honest truth, put it into the box. Landed straight on his head, and we went on to win the game. But we had some really good moments. I mean, there were some games that I wasn't even involved in, that some of my favourites, like the game away in New Orleans, where we got, we finished them off, and then Southern States, who are not in the conference anymore. And then obviously there's the Pensacola game that we won 7-2 after being 2-0 down. There's so many good moments. So many.
I kind of touched on it there. With you being kind of, a jokester in the locker room, I really think you add something to the Armada culture that we keep talking about here. I'd like to hear it from, a player and now a coach's perspective within the Armada. What is that Armada culture?
Well, it's hard to put my finger on it, right? But I spoke to Goffey, before the game against Flames. And I said to him and the girls, I said, look, when I first came in, I didn't know what to expect. And within a few weeks, I knew what was expected of me and the team. It was that there's a culture of winning here. And it doesn't matter if you're part of if you're a young lad that's part of the academy, or if you're on the men's team, the U23s, or if you're on the women's team. It doesn't matter who you're playing, you're expected to win. And that's one of the hardest things as a club, is to consistently win. But somehow we just do that here. It doesn't always go our way, but they manage that really well. It's credit to the staff and obviously yourself as well, Lou. The operations that make everything go smoothly. I never go into a game thinking we're going to get better today, or we're gonna be lucky to get away with a draw. I expect, whoever was in an Armada shirt is, to win.
Well, you kind of segued us right into us watching the women's highlights. Can you throw out that pick one, Casey, just so everyone can see the starting 11? I think all these girls ended up seeing the pitch over the 90 minutes. Is there anyone that sticks out to you here before we hop into the highlights who had a fantastic game to you?
Yeah, I think Bella had a really good game. She just put so much work in. I think she come off with a bloody nose as well and then went back on. Bruno, I thought, had a really good game. But I want to say that the first 60 minutes was dire. I mean, you were there. We were not good. Well,
Casey, let's throw those highlights up so we can get through that first half of this game. Just talk us through, the mindset of the coaching staff going down so early, and the mindset of the girls as you guys got to have them within these water break moments. What was the message there?
It's really difficult because, I'm not far removed from the game myself in terms of playing, but as a coach, you can't be emotional. You got to be very calm, because as soon as the girls on the sidelines sense a bit of weakness or sense a bit of emotion, then they think, like maybe, if they don't trust that what you're going to say is going to be positive, then, they'll go out there and they'll shut down. So just had to remain calm, get us into half time. And even though I'm not I'm being serious, I thought even at 3-0 down, we'd have a chance to at least score a couple. And we were that bad in the first half. I thought there's no way we can be any worse in the second. They did well. They started well coming out in the second half.
I was going to say that you guys come out of the break really all guns blazing. I mean, it's unfortunate that West Florida ends up scoring right after we score our first goal. But in that team talk, was there anything specific that really stuck out to you that Goffey said to those girls?
Goffey offers a lot of tactical information. I'm a bit more cut and dry in terms of work rate and what's expected from a physical standpoint. The message was clear from me. It was that I pulled a few players aside and I just said, look, you've got to give this a go now, because it's clear whatever we're trying, it's not working. So you've got to try something different. You've got to hunt impacts. You've got to get the ball off them in their own, in their own box or in and around their goal. And that's where our goals come from. We really struggled to create in the first half. In the second half, we didn't manufacture. In the second half, we didn't manufacture that many opportunities. But just, we forced them to make a mistake and forced them to make a decision, and they gave it to us a few times. Some goal, by the way. Wow.
Well, these are the two premier squads within Florida, both ranked within the top 10 in the South and top 20 nationally. Obviously, West Florida Flames gets out to an early 3-0 lead going to the half. After that, Sarah Bruner gets one in the 61st minute coming off the bench, really providing some energy on the wing. Mentioned there before that West Florida Flames follows it up just 5 minutes later with a goal. But we're talking about quick goals in succession. What about goals in the 86th, 89th, and 96th minute, all to tie it back up? I'm sure this is the first time you've watched the film now slowed down. I could see you analyzing it.
Yeah. I'm not even listening to it at the moment. No, you've been in. I don't know how much you've played, Lou, but I've been in enough
Florida High School Soccer Association games.
I've been around enough football matches to know that with even 10 minutes to go, you can score enough. You can score 3 goals, especially at this level as well. If you give the opposition mess around with it at the back and they're not doing their job, then then they'll give you opportunities to score. I think it was Liz that got the second one, right?
Yes,
Liz got the second one. Who got the third?
Tally Hines with the third goal in the 89th minute, and then Gianna Ramirez obviously scoring that game-tying goal super late. Yeah, unfortunately, we got to watch some of the bad highlights first. Mm-hmm. But, we go back to that 86th minute. Liz scores to make it 2-4. Was there a different message at that time, or was it kind of just everyone push, let's go, everyone bring up the energy?
As soon as the ball goes in the net, there's nothing that needs to be said on the sideline. I think, that's when you start to believe that you can start getting back in the game. 2 goals is way closer to a result than 3 goals. So as soon as that second goal went in, give us a bit more of a boost. And they were good as well. In the first half, they were very good. So, meaning Flames. But in the second half, we come out all guns blazing, like you say.
This team obviously very talented, but you work with a lot of the JFC area. You're a coach for the younger teams. A lot of ECNL girls on this team stepped up really big in this match. How crucial is it to have this team so they can play up, a level instead of just staying in their ECNL bubble?
Yeah, I mean, a big one there is Izzy. I missed out Izzy when you said standout performer. Izzy is outstanding. Stella, outstanding. Sav, goalkeeper, was outstanding.
Landry Bauer, one of my favorites to say.
Landry as well, 15. Wow. So yeah, that's credit to everyone at JFC as well, is that we're getting these girls coming through. Same as on the men's as well. It's so important to have those kind of kids around the around the senior environment, because then you have success stories like Micah, and then there's a couple of others like Dudley as well. Dudley, I think, was at JFC. So it's so important to have that foundation there where they can learn their trade at a young age, and then they can get opportunities to be pushed up and play at a higher level.
I gotta ask, where does this game/finish rank, not only in your playing career but your coaching career now?
No, this was up there. It was such a it was a roller coaster, to be honest, because I think when we scored that first goal to make it 3-1. I started to believe, and then they scored another one straight away to make it 4, and it just took the wind out of our sails. But yeah, it's up there. I'm so happy for them, because even though they were rubbish in the first half, they deserved it after that second half performance. They responded so well, and I'm really happy for the coaching staff as well. Got me. I was squished in between Ron and Goffey, and. Yeah, it's just happy for the fans as well. The fans, they're obviously there every week, deserve it.
I'd like to know this, just from a right back perspective. Goffey likes to play those inverted wing backs who often come centrally. How are you coaching those right backs to almost become more like midfielders during practice?
I think it comes from the players, because we've got 2 players that are really capable of coming inside, which is KO and Bella. And obviously Landry can come inside as well. You can only do that if we have, if they're very capable technically. It was a bit different for me. My strengths were going up and down, so I leave it to Goffey to have talks with them during the sessions or before the game about them coming inside. I'm more of a a defensive coach when we don't have the ball. When look at shape and. Us in transition from attack to defence. So I don't have too much of an input with Bella and KO and Landry, but yeah, you can see that they do such a good job of doing that. Bella's just fearless. She doesn't care about coming inside and getting on the ball, about making mistakes, and she's really good in transition as well.
Well, you gotta have you gotta have that culture coming into this. You as a player, do you have a different outlook? Yeah, I think you kind of mentioned before that you're not so far removed. Do you think that you can connect to these players more?
Oh, definitely. I thought the toughest thing would be the closest in age. I'm only 25. I think Liz is 24, so there's only a year between us. And I thought that would be difficult, just getting the respect, but it's been fine. It's been perfect. I think just not using it as a power trip, just going in and just helping them do the best that they can, and then offer any advice that helped me when I was a player on and off the field. Just offer as much aid as possible, really.
We love to mention it on the show how analytical Goffey is with analyzing video specifically. Have you been able to hop on that kind of train and dissect video like this? It seems like you're literally doing it right now. The entire time you've been doing it.
No,
I can send you this video.
No, I have done a little bit, not too much. Goffey's he's very black and white of what he wants. He doesn't care who he plays against because, like I said earlier, it's not about it's not about the other teams. It's about us. I believe that we can show up on any given day and beat anyone. That was the goal that sent me. My head went down. But
I remember. That's what I'm saying. I remember those comeback wins against the Naples and that little playoff run in 2022. And this, for me personally, ranks up there as one of the best matches I've ever been a part of. The girls showed absolute grit and strength, and I think that's just a testament to the coaching that you, Goffey, and the staff have done. We'll touch on it in just a second, but you also coach the youth children at JFC. Is there a different approach that you take to the youth, to the women, to the men, as you've been able to coach all these different types and styles of player?
Yeah, I've got them all, different ends of the spectrum. So I've got now I've got a 2018 team, so they're literally fresh. They're 7, and then I have a little bit of an older team, and they're 2014, so they're going to be under 12s next year or next season. And now I've got the girls, so I've got all ages. I love them all in their all in their different way. I think with the younger ones, you've got to be a bit more nurturing and help them understand the game and grow their love for the sport. Whereas Armada is purely, for me, is results driven. For my younger age groups, it's not about winning. It's about developing the player, and like JFC is just, they say they're player driven. I care a lot about individual growth, and just making sure they get the best out of the sport and best out of the club. And then with the girls, it's more, okay, we only get you for 2 months, and how are we going to win games? So that's where it differs.
Is there anyone that you've learned from at JFC to make you a better coach? There's obviously some Armada legends over there, Tommy Krzanovich, Jamal Johnson. But is there anyone that you look up to specifically at JFC?
Yeah, Jamal's helped me a lot. But the big one's Tommy, because he sees me in two different ways now. He used to see me as the player and someone that he had to deal with, and I could be tricky. I could be tricky to manage. Even though I wanted what was best for the team, I was tricky to manage. But then he saw me as a staff member, as part of the club, and not only. But a big one is not only Tommy, but Nathan as well. Nathan's helped me a lot, just giving me the opportunity to do this, and trying to help me get my work permit through. Tim Broderick has been massive. There's loads of them. There's loads.
What does it mean to you personally to build something from the ground up like this? This Armada women's team has only been around for 1 year and had a very successful year one. Here's that third goal. Brunner slips it through. The Tally Hines finish it off.
Tally's first goal. No, that's the feeling that I got when I first arrived at the club. Just after being at Patton Park for 3 or 4 weeks, it felt like home. Being there every day just felt good. Felt like the place for me. And just being away from that, like Lou, that I was away for about 8 months at home trying to get my immigration stuff sorted out and come back. And it was just so refreshing to be back, and building from the ground up is just, it feels, I don't want to say you feel like the main character, but you definitely feel like you're having an effect on something. Just like yourself, I know you and Corbin are, that's why you do it. You care a lot about the club, and so do I. So do all the people involved. It's not like we're part of this, this mass scheme that's going nowhere. Like our end destination is closer than what people think.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. At this point in time, I remember thinking, we can do this. There's a couple moments within this matchup at the end where Goffey even sends the goalkeeper up to the line. I mean, as a coach, can you do anything at that point? Is there anything really that you're affecting on the field in that 96th minute?
The only thing that was, driving me, Goffey, Wale, Rita, and Ron insane is that the ball was going out, and they were so dead out on their feet. Bless them. They were dead out on their feet, but just saying, go and get the ball. Don't give away fouls. Go and get the ball. Go as fast as you can. Get the ball back in play, and get it up towards their goal. Because anything can happen. You know, if you put an aerial ball in and they're not very good in the air, then we can make something happen. Get crosses into the box. I mean, this is just literally a hit and hope. This is to get it in the box.
A nice turn there. Yeah, I remember being on the edge of my seat up there. Here's that ball that goes far. Sent back in and almost.
That was the one before,
almost goes in. We had a couple corner chances.
I mean, I won't lie. After that one, I'm thinking, it's not happening. It's not happening.
There's the goalkeeper, you can see in the yellow jersey, and now this is the wonder shot from Gianna Ramirez.
Did she mean it though? Maybe get her on though and ask her if she meant it.
Well,
interview her?
You'll actually hear from her right after your interview on post game with Stuart Weber on the sideline. Celebration for the ages. Here you see KO come out of nowhere. That's my favorite part there. I mean,
me and Goffey are just out of shot, by the way. If you just go this way a little bit, if you go to the left a little bit, we're going nuts on the side.
Well, we might have gotten a fine if the camera would have shown you on the field there. So I'm glad we cut back to that. But in that moment, what's going through your mind now?
Just pure relief, because Goffey told me before the game that this is the one, even though it's so early on in the season, that this is the one that could decide the league. So, obviously we've still got to do our bit and win other games. But if it comes down to it, and we've won all our games and they've won their games, then we're going to be right up there. And like I say, we're not going to be content with finishing third or fourth. We want to go all the way and win the division. So, yeah, just pure relief, man. Here we are. Here, look, you see me? Yes.
That's great. KO with the cape, with the orange cape. I mean, isn't it so rewarding at this level to be able to celebrate with the fans after a win like that? Because we go to these other WPSL teams and they don't quite have the fan base like we do, especially the support like Section 904 brings.
Yeah, I mean, you might have, like, if you go to another club, you might have the occasional fan that pops down to watch a game of football. But I've said it time and time again, our boys just keep coming back. Boys and girls, should I say. They just keep coming back, keep coming to support. They've had so many opportunities to go somewhere else, and they just haven't. And I hope they know how much I appreciate them. And hopefully we can obviously next time get the win, but hopefully we can give them as much entertainment as what we did last week.
So Casey, if you put up that women pick 4, the next time you can watch the girls in blue at Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium is June 7th when they take on FC Primetime. Wait, before you go, I gotta get your opinion on the name FC Primetime.
FC Primetime, I'm not having it, but see how good they are. If they're good, then they can have it.
Well, you know who is good? Who you guys are playing this weekend? AGC, a good club. We'll say good club. Not quite a great club, but this weekend you guys go away to South Florida after drawing a grueling 5-hour drive down there. What are you looking forward to seeing out of the girls in this match?
I'm looking for more of a response. Obviously, they didn't have a great result, AGC, but it doesn't matter, does it? And the way that I look at it is, if we can put a few goals past them, it could be pivotal in our goal difference by the end of the season. So it's not one to take lightly, definitely not. But just trying to keep an unbeaten streak all the way up until the end of the season. So I'm excited. 5 hours in the coach or in the bus doesn't bother me. Just happy to be involved, man. I'm excited.
Well, if you guys can't make it out to the matchup this weekend for the men, which we'll preview, or the women in 2 weeks, please watch it right here on actionsportsjacks.com on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. But Jed, it's been awesome having you in studio. It's been really fun to see your journey from both sides, now transitioning into that coaching period. It's clear to me how much the club means to you, just as much it means to me. Before we let you go, though, what is your biggest hope for specifically this Armada women's team in the future?
Hopefully we can keep building. It'd be great to pull some more players from out of state and out of the country. Obviously we got Caitlin and Maddie and Tally from Britain. from the UK come over. If we can make more connections and bring girls over, mixed in with, seasoned, I don't want to say pros because we've got no pros, but we've got college players, seasoned college players, and the new talent coming through. Just keep building. And also with the players that we've got, I would love to see us go and get more silverware so we can put it in the Armada trophy cabinet.
I like that. Now that's what I like to hear. I could use a medal or two. Would look nice here on the show. But from assistant coach Jed Bowman, we'll throw it to Stuart and head coach David Goff after post-match 4-4 draw against the West Florida Flames.
The Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 side starting the home schedule with about as dramatic of a finish as you could possibly get, a 4-4 draw against the back-to-back conference champs from West Florida. Here with the head coach, David Goff. And Goffy, you said it as you came up to me, football. That's just football right there.
Football, I tell you what. This is why this game is loved all around the world. This is why we have a World Cup bigger than any other sport. And it's just, who could have written it? 3-0 down in 15 minutes, and it's so much credit goes to the players. Before I say that, I want to say a big congratulations to their team. They're a very good set of staff. He's a very good manager, and they're a very good side. So that is an absolutely unbelievable turnaround from us, to be fair.
Yeah, two teams stacked with talent. I mean, looking at their roster, they have some major Division I college players all over the roster. Yeah. You guys have a lot of younger players, but extremely talented players. And I think they're at that age where they don't know that being down 3-0 after 15 minutes, being down 4-1 after 85 minutes means that you're necessarily going to lose the match. And what you don't know doesn't hurt you, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a senior football, and for some of them, it's their, young Lily Morse today. It's their first ever time playing in front of a crowd. Of supporters like ours, it's amazing support. But testament to them all. I'm so proud of them. We've got one player over the age of 25, and most of the squad is under 20 or under 21. So we're building something for the future, and this is going to be chapters and verse for them, for their improvement for the future.
You talk about frantic moments, no shortage of them over those final 15 minutes. You score in the 86th, you score in the 88th, and then it takes until the final blows there in stoppage time. Gianna Ramirez, talk to me about that play from your perspective. I mean, you obviously went nuts afterwards, but as you're watching it, did you see it unfold the way it did?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm going to sound silly, but I said to Gianna, look, this has got your name written all over it. And she smiled at me, and I just said, listen, do your thing. Like, when it comes to you, it'll drop. Just do your thing. And you don't know how she's going to do it, but you get a feeling for players in big moments. And she was phenomenal last week against Seminole, and I couldn't have asked it to go any better,
A huge result for the women's under-23 side. They earn a 4-4 draw against the other presumptive favorite. You got to put them in that same category with you guys in the Sunshine Conference, and this is a big one for you to build a little momentum on moving forward.
Yeah, ranked number 1 in the region, ranked number 4 in the country. Jacksonville Armada is making moves, and sometimes pressure does difficult things, but the players today, they've risen to the occasion. I have to say as well, the staff today, what an amazing job they did. And they didn't panic. I'm kind of thinking, like, what are we going to do? And every one of them is just calm. Ron Messick today, he's come out with some unbelievable changes. We've changed system 4 times in the game today, and each time it affected the results. So yes, the moments and the goals have to come, but staff, all of them, Ron included, did an amazing job today.
Well, they say pressure can either bust pipes or make diamonds. Yeah. In this case, the Armada shine in a 4-4 draw here in the home opener. Head coach David Goff, thank you so much.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
For Action Sports Jacks, I'm Stuart Weber.
Well, if you guys miss Stuart Weber, you can catch him on actionsportsjacks.com this weekend. Once again, doing the play-by-play for the men's game this weekend. But after hearing from the Gaffa Goffy, we got to hear from the game-tying goal scorer, Gianna Ramirez.
The Jacksonville Armada earn a 4-4 draw, and let's bring in the final moment heroics from Gianna Ramirez. What a finish. You got to walk me through that fourth and final goal in the end of stoppage time. Just a mad flurry. Did you think that was going in, or were you trying to cross it to teammates there?
So I'm going to be completely honest. I was trying to cross it, but then I saw it going upper 90, and I was like, yeah, this one's definitely in. So a lot of energy. It felt so good to get that final goal, especially because we were down, but I knew we had the chance to come back, and I knew we could do it.
Off the post, into the back of the net. Your coach explodes on the sideline, gets a yellow card, but probably worth it for Goffey to go do that. Talk to me about that final 15 minutes. Down 4-1 in the 85th minute of this match. And Jacksonville comes back and scores 3 goals. What does that say about this squad and their never say die attitude?
I mean, first of all, I would like to shout out Bella Fahiri. She did an amazing job. I think we just continue to push until there was one goal after another, and then each goal we got, I think we gained a little bit more energy, and that led to the final goal.
And I got to ask you about Section 904, bringing the energy, bringing the excitement, and you guys go over there and celebrate with them after the match. That had to be a tremendous moment, not just for them, but for you guys as well.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously my first time playing at Armada, my first time experiencing them, but they're awesome. I think playing and having them right there is an amazing experience because it boosts our energy even more.
Gianna Ramirez, though technically not a game winner, it certainly felt like one. A final moment goal to settle the score at 4-4. Congratulations, a good result, and the Jacksonville Armada press on.
Watch more post-game interviews from myself after the match on actionsportsjacks.com after the games. But from one former player to another former player turned coach, right now, joining us on Fleet and Footy is a guy who's been a rock in the Armada system and someone whose name still gets brought up anytime we talk about big club moments in history. You probably remember him from 2 years ago when he stood on his head in the U.S. Open Cup and delivered one of the most clutch goalkeeping performances we've ever seen in the Armada colors. He's now shaping the next generation of keepers as our goalkeeper coach on the men's, women's, and MLS Next Pro Academy side. Nick Rulle, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Lou. That might be one of the best introductions that this show has ever had.
Well, thank you. I've been learning from the best. Like I say, Stuart Weber sits across this desk from me, so I get to learn from the best. But it's fantastic to have you on, Nick. I know you and I have talked about having you on for a long, long time. But let's start out with your role specifically. A goalkeeper coach. It's really, really uber specific. Soccer doesn't necessarily have positions. You can kind of just throw a guy anywhere, but not really goalkeeper. Can you kind of just explain what a typical training for a keeper's like during a regular NPSL week?
Well, first of all, goalkeepers are a little special, right? That's ultimately why we become goalkeepers. There's a screw loose sometimes, and we play in a different shirt. We play in one specific spot on the pitch, and it's one of those positions where you can't just give the goalkeeper a chance up top because you think he's good, or you can't just substitute the goalkeeper just for the sake of it. So it is a special position, and that also means the special training. I think we do a really, really good job at Jacksonville Armada of providing a very, very, very high quality goalkeeper environment for our goalkeepers. They get training every single day. They have goalkeeper specific strength and conditioning with Coach James Walsh right before training as well, who I have a great relationship with as well. And then we try to tailor the goalkeeper training specifically towards what the boys are going to see in the training session that they're going to jump into, but also trying to bring out specific moments that they might see in the game. So it really encompasses everything from technical training on how to catch the ball properly to diving up into the top bins, and also how do we build out of the back when we have the ball at the feet. So it encompasses a lot of things. Let's just put it that way.
Well, you obviously had to learn what you know now to coach these boys. And can you just kind of talk me through the beginning of your career leading up to Jacksonville? Because you eventually do come into the Jacksonville University program. But let's just talk about how you even got over from Denmark over to the States.
Yeah, so for most of my youth career, I played for a club called Randers FC, which I think in English is called Randers FC.
It has the horse logo, right? There's a little horse on it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a club that's made up from a bunch of different local clubs in and around the city of Randers, and I was very fortunate to be part of their youth academy and later on be part of their first team squad in the Superliga, where I was a a not a big part. I was a youth goalkeeper in the team, but I was with them for 6 to 12 months before I went to America, and then I had an agent at the time who played in Denmark as well, played at the highest level, and was drafted as well into the MLS. And it came to a point in my career where do you sign with the first team, or do you go somewhere else to try to get a different experience? And I think for me, I've always liked academia, and I've always wanted to get an education. I'm the only one in my family that has a college degree and a master's degree, so that was a big thing for me wanting to do. And my agent, as I said, is American, and he opened up for the opportunity for me to, work for him on getting to the U.S. So it was a longer process, and then I ended up at Cleveland State first in the fall of 2018, where I played a couple games as a freshman. It did not, and I think this is one of the things I'm trying to learn the young kids. It was partially my own fault for being too stubborn and not, I think, taking the challenge as what it actually was. Young goalkeeper coming to a different country, not speaking the language, and thinking, oh, I got it. I was very, very wrong. Let's just put it that way. And I think with that, I wanted to try a different avenue. So I moved to Tennessee, where I played for Cumberland University for about 3 years. And then I came to Jacksonville after my bachelor's degree, where it was, do you continue playing and try to go for an opportunity, or do you go on a path, which I had already started? The picture that's on right now is from the summer of 2021, where I went back and started my first goalkeeper coaching job for a club at my local club called Sabri. And I think after my Cumberland time, I got in touch with Mauricio Ruiz, the former head coach at Jacksonville University, and I spoke to Tom Buckner as well, and got connected with them. And we decided that it would probably be a good opportunity for me to come to Jacksonville University and be at that point in time, graduate assistant and goalkeeper coach. So that's how I ended up in Jacksonville.
Well, you are on that Dolphins staff, and then you get an odd call from Tommy Krzanovich in 2023 telling you that he wants you on his Open Cup roster. Can you just explain that pitch to me before you even get into Tommy's coaching pitch, wanting you to coach with him?
Well, it was, let's just put it mildly. It was kind of quick, and it was kind of quick turnaround. I at the time was with JU, and then I was doing a little bit of coaching for JFC. And in the evenings, I would jump into UPSL training just every once in a while. And a week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, and then all of a sudden we have to play this game. And coach had brought in another goalkeeper, and we had a couple goalkeepers in the roster, and I was just sort of, oh well, I'm here to benefit the environment. I'm here to help wherever I can. And then I actually didn't realize I had to play until the former director of operations, Rich Santos, by the way, legend, had put a sheet in the locker room over at UNF where it says Nick Rulle rule number 1. And I think that was probably the best way I could have figured this out, because I hadn't played for, I think, a year and a half, 2 years at that point in time. And I was still knocking a little bit of rust off. So not knowing it a couple of days up until helped me a little bit with the nerves. But no, unbelievable night, I think, for a lot of us. I said at that point in time that it was a testament what we did to the soccer community of Jacksonville and the club of Armada. And I think that to this day. And for me personally, it was a great way to put one more appearance to my name, and a great way to end my playing career. So very special day for myself, for my family, for my now wife, who was in Tennessee at that point in time, who watched on. So no, very, very special night. And I'll be forever thankful to Coach Tommy, to trusting me with that responsibility. And I'll always be forever thankful to the fans, by the way, who stormed the field that night. And I'll never forget that. 3,500 people storming the field. That was great. So, yeah.
Well, I feel like we've teased it long enough. I think we got to get your live reaction to this video. Now, this first video lives in my head rent-free because this is the iconic Nick Rulle dance. I mean, I still do it to this day. I see you do it at the practice field to this day. I mean, what's going through your mind at this point? Because this is a win or go home penalty right there. That's a win or go home penalty.
Well, what goes through the mind? That's a great question, Lou. If I'm honest, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. It's a position that I've been fortunate to be in a couple of times in my career, and my dad was also a goalkeeper and played at a decently high level as well. And his biggest thing was penalty shootouts. He had this thing. I do it if I remember, but he used to have this thing where you knock your boots on the post and then you jump to that post, where I think I try to read people a little bit more. I try to look at, well, do they put the foot down in a specific way? Do they give the eyes right away? And then just going with the gut, really. So it wasn't really anything going through my head, but once I saw the goalkeeper step up, I knew it was it. I knew it was time.
Talking about going with the gut, I mean, we get all the way down to the point that it is keeper versus keeper. I mean, what's going on in your gut? As we see Sean Gibson, he's saying, I jumped the fence, celebrated. He jumped back over the fence, he scored again. Everywhere. I mean, the celebrations were insane. We'll see them in just a moment. But what's going through your mind stepping up for a penalty? Because you don't get to do this often, Nick.
No, I don't get to do it often, but I have taken a penalty in my youth career. Scored my bottom left, goalkeeper's bottom right. So no, it's not a situation you get to be in often. I think the one thing that frustrates me about penalty takers is when they take their time, they try to do it fancy, and then they jump before the strike, and then they put it on the post, or they put it on the crossbar. They try to do something too fancy, and I think, for me, it was just about making decent contact and just putting so much pace on it that even if it got close enough to the goalkeeper that he wouldn't be able to get it. And then just put it on frame, obviously. That's my goalkeeper. That's my goal kick technique. And I figured, well, I put it pretty straight in my goal kick, so let's just put it in the back of the net. So, no, brilliant.
And then here's the save to end it off, the celebration, the scenes. You said it there. You said that I saw that goalkeeper step up and I knew it was over. Do you just think that you have, the mindset of a goalkeeper so you know where he's going? Do you think you got like a step ahead on him because, you guys are the same type?
No, you're going to have to promise me you're going to keep this information to yourself, Lou, and with the viewers as well. I think... I was taught when I was younger from an old goalkeeper coach of mine who's still at Rangers, actually, Erik Boye, unbelievable goalkeeper coach, can put it in the top bins 11 out of 10 times if he wants to. He told me that in penalty shootouts, when you're tired, when other players are tired, you're having your nerves, what's the easiest thing to do? The easiest thing is to go across the body. And I looked at the goalkeeper's body language, and I felt a sense of nervousness. And I think with that nervousness, I just decided he's going to go across his body. And he did. And to my luck, I was able to get my right hand down. I thought he was going to put it a little bit more on the post. He put it a little bit closer, so you had to readjust. But no, that's really it, Lou. It happens very quickly. It happens in a second. You have to make a decision right there and then. So I made the right decision, and we got another game because of it.
Well, thank you, Nick, for taking us down memory lane here. One of my favorite Armada moments. It rivals that girls' comeback win the other night, but it's a pleasure having you on. From Open Cup legend to building the future of the Armada, your impact on this club runs deep. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you, Lou. I appreciate being on.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere for more Fleet and Footy. We're going to wrap up the men's match that happened this weekend, as well as your weird soccer story of the week.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with We Armada rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is home. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Jacks 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jacks, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget the Brett and Austin Show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jacks Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjacks.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Jacksonville sports, all the time.
2024 provided plenty of memorable moments for the Jacksonville Armada on the pitch, including another conference championship game appearance for Tommy Krasanovich's under-23 men's team. Debuting this year for the first time, the girls in blue, as the Armada fielded a women's under-23 side in the WPSL and made its presence known with some highlight moments.
Potential goal of the season!
Then attention turned to the future, with MLS Next teams representing the Armada badge in 3 age divisions this fall, including an under-19 squad ranking among the best in the state. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Welcome back to Fleet and Footy. You can watch all Armada U23 home games live right here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network on actionsportsjacks.com, or my favorite way to watch, the app on the TV. But if you miss us there, we'll always have the highlights here on Fleet and Footy every Thursday from 2 to 3. It was great having goalkeeper coach Nick Rulle on. You can check him out if you want to get trained by him at jacksonvillefc.com under the JFC Goalkeeper Academy. He runs it like a little mini camp over there. So it's always good to see Nicky Rulle at Patton Park. But as we transition, after gushing over the girls in blue, we'll talk about the boys in blue, as they get it done 6-1 over in Panama City. Xavi Sato, you'll see here, with the hat trick. But goal scorers are now Rabasa, Xavi Sato, and Luis Madden, as well as Gustavo Marquez. So it It was a scoring affair over in Panama City. This is obviously our second game against PSCSC after beating them at home pretty handily. Right now, your boys in blue remain undefeated as they return back home to Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium. It's good to see Sato on the score sheet. He's been such an energetic new player on the roster. At least at the home games, he's been chipping away closer and closer to getting towards that goal. But the boys in blue get it done at Public Sports Park this weekend. They go on and play this Saturday. Don't forget. You can watch them live here on the Action Sports Jacks Network or visit JacksonvilleArmada.com and secure those tickets in for that 7 p.m. game as they take on Miami Dutch Lions. Now, if you have any remembrance of last season, we took on Miami Dutch Lions in the playoffs at Edward Waters Stadium and I believe beat them 6-1 as well. It was a high-scoring affair there. So please join us out at Nathaniel Glover Community Stadium at the campus of Edward Waters University. Everyone's favorite segment of the week. We're about to jump into it really quick, but it's the weird soccer story of the week. Week. This story comes out of Djibril Cissé's testimonial match. This is obviously French footballing great Djibril Cissé. Just this Tuesday night, he jumped on the DJ decks and entertained his own testimonial crowd on the sticks in the middle of the stadium, looking at him, pumping him up. I guess this is what you can do after you retire. Everyone turns into a DJ now. I feel like everyone's a DJ. I've got a bunch of friends that think they're DJs now. You know, everyone's turning into a DJ my age. But if you want to hear some good tunes, join us at Nathaniel Glover Community Stadium. We always got some good stadium tunes going on to pump up the boys in blue. This Saturday, don't forget, they play Miami Dutch Lions. JacksonvilleArmada.com for tickets, or join us right here on ActionSportsJacks.com to watch all your Armada U23 home matches.
Ancla Dorada. The official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Hey everyone, Olivia Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store, either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok.